Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. Boy, with the energy on the planet these days, things are really heating up and there's alignments happening. So I just want to offer this on the playground that whatever is happening in your beautiful world, there's a place to hold even the most dramatic of times, such as it's super hot over here in California, and yet we know there's flooding in other parts. So, how do we hold space and just say, if my meditation and my thoughts could just find my center, just tracking the center point, because this is a pretty exciting time of expansion as we move from the Piscean era into the age of Aquarius. And if you missed it earlier, I did do a little something on the age of Pegasus, basically bridging. You've got this, this beautiful winged horse bridging the age of Pisces with the age of Aquarius. But today I am sharing a little mini reading. Haven't done one in a while because my goodness, I've been going through some deep dives with some wonderful new friends who I'm meeting as we together start looking at galactic soul records. So on the playground today, let me share with her permission. This is Bette. Bette is one of our subscribers here on the Ascension Playground. And she touched my heart because she is an octogenarian, 80 something and strong. And, my heart moved because last year, one of my friends, Phoebe, passed and she was up in her 80s. And so, Bette, you touched my heart. So let's take a quick look at your galactic soul records. Okay, and if you're listening for the first time on the playground, I just got certified as a galactic soul reading practitioner. And I have a blog spot, this way, called galacticsoulrecords.blogspot.com if you're interested in learning more. Gosh, I'm booking all the way into October and November now. So hold on tight. We have gone galactic. So I typically like to start a reading with anyone who signs up that, that moment of your birth for all of us. The birth time, the date, and the location all basically are orchestrated into this divine moment of you being born incarnate into the third dimensional earth. So there's this theory that I absolutely love, the story that we pre-agreed before moving into this now, role as, let's just say, Ursula. Before I came in, I had a pre-agreement with my soul family and guides. This idea that we reincarnate over and over with a particular soul group. This was something that came up in many of the books I was reading about past life regressions. And the details were, there was common threads and so much detail. So it's actually, there's a color that's also associated with your soul group. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now because that moment that each of us is born, it's an orchestration and a divine moment. So here we have the little baby in the basket and the stars align and this matrix then is set up for what you agreed to. You've agreed to come in with certain gifts and skills, but you've also agreed to perhaps, for expansion, learn about finally learning some karmic lessons that maybe you didn't learn in previous lifetimes. Let's say my soul originated in Andromeda and I thought, oh, I'm just not going to keep learning all my lessons. So then I reincarnate next time into, let's say, Orion. Well, those lessons follow me and my soul over and over until there's resolution, until there's learning. Why? So that there's an expansion. And my experiences then can go back into the greater source of all. It's almost like this huge experiential database, right? So on a soul level, we all, each of us, agreed to come on in. Well, Bette, you were born with 3 very specific key ingredients. In fact, each of us do have these 3 keys, but they're different. Betty's has her sun, which is the brightest light. Her sun sign is in Capricorn. That is the sign of the sea goat. The goat likes to make step-by-step progression with the goals and wants to achieve and get to the top of that mountain, right? So when you talk about the four elements, earth, air, fire, water, in astrology, which is a language of light, Capricorn represents cardinal earth. This is earth that likes to take initiative. I'm grounded, but I'm also not going to be afraid. Hey, it's time to go get that new job. Or, hey, I think I'll apply for the next level of the job and ask for a raise. So this is her sun in Capricorn. Again, all of this information is coming from that birth moment. So the time is key. The second key ingredient, as your team was putting the soup together for Bette in this now lifetime, Bette, you chose to have your moon in Cancer. And what a strong place to have a moon. Moon in Cancer. Cancer just embraces the moon. The moon is what they call at home in the sign of Cancer. So when you close your eyes and just tune into your emotional intelligence, who Bette is, not looking out into the world, not even looking into the mirror, when you just close your eyes and tune into your emotional intelligence, Bette, you show up very keenly with an extra dose, an extra sprinkle of Cancer. This is the crab. The crab is the metaphor of the great mother. The crab carries its home, which is so important to it, on its back. Now, the crab doesn't like to go forward. It likes to handle things sideways. So, you know, if there's a conflict, maybe it's easier to go sideways. But it's the great mother energy. And so when we look at, well, tell me more about Cancer moon, it means it's cardinal water. So water is about the emotions, and you know, the moon just is all about emotions too. But this is the kind of emotional intelligence that says, you know, I'm going to get some self-help books and I'm going to try and understand things. It takes initiative to understand all those amazing emotions that you came fully packed with. So a sun in Capricorn, cardinal earth, I'm going to go make things happen in the world. And the moon in Cancer, oh, I'm going to feel, and I'm going to feel all of it, all deeply. But there's this third ingredient, and that is your rising sign, also called the ascendant. So Virgo rising, yay, nice to meet you, Bette. Yours truly is also Virgo rising. And what does this mean? Well, Virgo is the goddess. It's the female that holds the sheaf of wheat, and it represents the harvest. But a Virgo rising is about mutable earth. You and I, Bette, well, this is actually how people see you and how people see me, because a Virgo rising is seen as very analytical. We're going to look at all the details and we're going to do the analysis. Keep this, don't keep that. Underscore this, throw out that. But this beautiful digestion and analysis is basically to understand the harvest. Here's the good wheat, and here's the parts we don't need. Virgo is a lot about this idea of service. So people will see us as really dedicated and devoted to serving the other. Okay, so this is in the social or interpersonal house of service and devotion. Virgo rising also represents the body. We're very high tuned and take our analysis when we eat something. Is it good for us? Is it not? So Virgo rising, people may see us as being very either alternative health or daily habits around health, but our body informs us. So how do you like the little birthday presents I put down at this picture? Your three key ingredients: earth, water, and earth. So I'm just looking at what's blending in your pot of the three key ingredients. Now, earth loves water and water loves earth, because you can take emotions and bring them into matter, mater, mother, earth. Air, if you have a lot of air signs, loves fire, and fire loves air. Those two are very compatible. The more air to fan the flame, and the flame and the air, they work in harmony. But Bette, you have 3 key ingredients that are harmonious. So that's a good sign that you're working inside and out. Now, in case anyone listening, first of all, hit the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing to the Ascension Playground, because it helps. And when we get to the 501st subscriber, we're going to have a community page. Okay, so Bette, back to you, your unique energetic self-portrait. Now, Virgo Rising, you might like to do this too. We like to look and see about putting the pieces together. I never enjoyed jigsaw puzzles. No, thank you. But give me a good reference book on astrology, cosmology, anything hermetic or esoteric. I'm in. So, but I don't really read. I reference and I research. So I wanted to show you in your chart. Now, when I say the sun, you follow the yellow line, and right above my head, hello, is your sun sign. And it's landing right in the 5th house of Virgo. So here we have the Capricorn sun in the house of Virgo. So your sun is going to light up this house of, you know what? I need to scratch that out. It's not the 5th house of Virgo. It's the 5th house of Leo. Excuse me. That's creativity, children, and play. My goodness, I got to get my marbles straightened a little bit. I got so excited. So your sun in Capricorn is landing in the 5th house. You're lighting up the house of Leo that loves to talk about creativity and self-expression. And so that expression can also be in terms of artwork, children, or even the theater, how you express. Okay, now see the moon? We're going to follow the blue lines and go all the way to the top. That is the glyph for Cancer, those 2 little yin-yang looking symbols. And underneath it, you can see your moon. Your moon in Cancer is landing in the 10th house of your vocation, of you out in the world. So you out in the world as the great mother. And so your moon is there and it's near Jupiter. So great expansion. But here's something fun to add to your out in the world. See at the top, it says S-I-R, S as in Sam, I-R. That's a short word for the star Sirius. And I looked it up. Your moon and the star Sirius are very close to each other. So let's see, your moon is at 14 degrees Cancer, 50 minutes. And Sirius, the star, is at 13 degrees and several minutes too. So what that says is when you tune into your feelings, you can also invite the star Sirius, which is the big dog, Canis Major, the star Sirius, to come and guide you anytime you're interested in going out into public or into the world. Okay, we're moving right along. When you look at the ascendant, see that green line? Everyone's ascendant is in the same position. This is how your wheel starts. It's the very beginning. And so that's why the snapshot that was taken of you at your moment of birth, the time, is really key. It sets the ascendant. So here we see Virgo rising. But see, there's a little glyph for Neptune. Neptune is at the helm of your ship. So we think of the ascendant as here you are navigating the new cosmic waters on Earth as Bette. And at the front of the ship, the bow, you can see that, you remember those wooden faces that you used to see? That's the first thing people saw of the ship coming. Like, whose ship is it? Oh, let's see the little face. Well, your face is Virgo. It's rising with Neptune. So Virgo is Earth, Neptune is the king of the sea. So really good pairing there. All right, so let's see, what else did I get for you next? Next, I wanted to tell you about Galactic Astrology. If anyone's listening, yes, you may know some things about astrology, Western astrology, sidereal astrology. I mean, astrology has been around for eons. I mean, thousands of years. China, Asia, um, India. So now what we're going to do is look at the heavens, the enchanted sky, and start adding in some fixed stars to see if the narrative and the energy of their stories rings true for you. Again, we're working with metaphor, narrative, and energy. Okay, my next slide is to show you, because I went on Julia Balaz's site, galacticastrochart.com, and you can pull up your own free natal chart. And Betty, this is the 8-star families where you've had significant lifetimes. I pulled this when you click on the tab that says basic report. So these will show us your most, well, the strongest lifetimes that you've had. Anything conjunct or oppositional on your natal chart. This is how we're starting to read the galactic soul records. And look where you've been. Lyra, Canis Major, Hydra, Orion. You've had fun with the galactic center at least a couple of times. The Pleiades, Centaurus, and Leo. Look at that. So you revisited some places like Hydra, I see 3 times, Orion twice, and 4 trips to Lyra. These are star families. Now, when I say that, I'm really talking about the broader constellation. When you start getting to know Julia's report system, you can actually see which star in the constellation. So this information goes from broad to more specific. Okay, Betty, those are 8 definite star family members. But of all those family members, those big constellations, I'm going to ask the question, so where are you really from? Where's your origin? Because the idea is that we start as a soul in this system, but we begin somewhere. And so Julia Balaz and Hector created this incredible calculator, and we can look at where we were. So here's basically your, your basic report again. And this time I've added more information, but we find where you're from. You can see Uranus and Gemini, and I've circled Centaurus. The however is your connection with the Pleiades is also super strong. It was a toss-up. I had to really tune in and do some dowsing. Where did she start first, the Pleiades or Centaurus, right? So then the next slide is dun, da, 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 in Centaurus. So here's the centaur, the half man, half beast. But where in Centaurus? Well, your origin story began on a fixed star called Alpha Centauri. Alpha means the brightest star in the constellation of Centaurus, Alpha. However, the name has changed a couple of times. It's also known as Regal Cantaris or Ptolemaeon. And please excuse me, I may not have the exact sounding of the name, but you can see how to spell them if you decide to do a little more Google research yourself. And then look at the picture I found of Alpha Centauri. Pretty amazing. So what is this narrative of the centaur? Half man, half beast. Very interesting. Some of us know the most well-known centaur named Chiron, Chiron. He was a very wise teacher who worked with medicines, healing. He mentored so many of the famous heroes of our time. So, or in Greek mythology, I should say. So the centaur, that struggle between the beastly, animal nature, because centaurs were known for partying, and they always kind of traveled typically in herds. But Chiron was above that, so he kind of ascended to the next level of centaur. The other part, the man part, you can see, it's this, as man evolves, how does he work with his beastly lower nature? Anyway, that's where you're from. And you can see in the heavens, Hydra the water snake, Lupus the wolf, there's a floating triangle, Crux is the Southern Cross. So Centaurus is located in the southern hemisphere of the heavens. Okay, now here's the Centaurus um, constellation again, but do you see what's happened? It's flipped in space. So we're seeing it from the other side, but instead of Alpha Centauri, this one's called Regal Cantaris. Again, same star, different name, and same location. So right at the hoof area or the knee of the centaur. And what qualities did you bring in from your star family of origin? Let's see. Good high morals, vivacious, sincere, pure, healthy, artistic. And here's a fun one. Has it been fortunate in love and marriage for you this lifetime? I sure hope so. They also point out that this star oftentimes gets help from its relatives. Now, I associate that with the herd of centaurs. They help one another, they track with one another, they're just not by themselves. So, the star also gives beneficence, friends, refinement, and a position of honor. And I saw you with your two grandchildren. That looked like a position of honor, if you ask me. Okay, especially for a Cancer moon, which motherhood and grandmotherhood must be very important, maybe even making a career of it. Okay, I don't want to frighten anybody. However, this wonderful artist named Vashta at Vashta.com, she channels through images of various star beings. So, Bette, I just wanted to share with you that there's another story and narrative that is being written by several on the planet right now that says if you're from fixed star Alpha Centauri, you are from what's called the Apunians. The Apunians. So this is what Vashta thinks they look like. And I gotta say, if you put your hair down, maybe this is a younger version of yourself as well. But what we're seeing is not the physical form, but there's an energetic that I want you to kind of pick up on when you look at her. There's a guy, a writer named Craig Campobasso, and he wrote a book called The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. So as we start looking at the heavens and learning about the stars and their stories, the next big step, it's a quantum step, is to start embracing this idea of beings other than human in our cosmos. So this fun narrative is about Apunians. Some of the qualities of the Apunians are they love to follow and only follow the cosmic law of one. We are all from the one source. There is one, this whole idea of return to the one. They are, when you come back to Gaia, Mother Earth, the Apunians are connected with the Peruvian Andes. So I'm not sure if you've ever traveled to South America or if some of your interests were of South American cultures or ancient civilizations in that region, but that would be interesting to know. Here's a quality, if I move my head. The Apunians are masters at transforming negative energies. So the great transmuters, taking all that negative energy, spinning it into gold or spinning it into neutral. That's a wonderful gift. And then here on my last chart where I say, thank you, Bette, I put two more little pictures of Apunians. Again, this is from Craig Campobasso's book that I just mentioned. So look at those fun faces. Do any of your grandchildren kind of resemble that? Why don't you go back to Julia's Galactic Astrochart.com and see if you want to pull up your grandchildren's records. Now, if anyone listening is interested in learning more, I am an affiliate with Julia and her program. And so if you use the link attached down below in this description, by signing up for classes at the same price, you're going to be helping support the good work here at the Ascension Playground. So Bette, may light continue to guide you forward. Well, that was fun. I so enjoy learning the stories, and I could be hours researching the heavens to learn the narratives, because in a sense, this is the cosmic portraiture that it's engaging for me. So I'm going to go walk my puppies, give a big heart hug to each of you. Thank you so much. We're so close to 501 subscribers, and what a joy it's been. But if you're interested in learning more, you can visit my blog spot too, which I put in the last slide. It's galacticsoulrecords.blogspot.com. Otherwise, go have a wonderful day. And tonight, consider looking up in the heavens and testing yourself to saying, what is that great light up there? Do you think maybe my star family is from that region? Have a great night and hope to see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye, everybody.